The morning was bright, but inside her heart, there was only fear and nervousness. A young single mother, Anna, walked slowly toward the tall glass building that touched the sky. Her daughter, Lily, held her hand tightly. The little girl was only 6 years old, with innocent eyes that looked around with wonder. To everyone else, this was just another day in the city. People in shiny black suits rushed past them. Expensive cars stopped in front of the building. Men and women walked inside with confidence, their heads high, their shoes clicking loudly on the marble floor. But Anna was different. She wore a plain dress. Her shoes were old and a little worn out. She held her daughter's small school bag instead of a leather purse. When she stood in front of the building, she felt her heart beating so fast it almost hurt. She whispered to herself, "You can do this, Anna. You have to do this, for Lily." Taking a deep breath, she pushed the glass door open. Inside, everything was grand. The ceiling was high, with sparkling lights that looked like stars. The floor was so clean she could see her reflection. A large fountain stood in the middle, its water shining like crystal. To Anna, it felt like another world, a world that didn't belong to her. But she had no choice. She had to try. At the reception desk, a woman with sharp eyes looked at Anna and then at Lily. Her face showed doubt. "Yes? Can I help you?" she asked in a cold tone. Anna's voice shook a little, but she spoke bravely. I have an appointment with Mr. Adrian Blackwell, the CEO." The receptionist raised her eyebrow. She looked at Anna's plain clothes and then at Lily, who was now hugging her mother's hand. The receptionist almost laughed, but she controlled herself. "Do you have proof of appointment?" Anna quickly opened her old handbag and showed a printed email. The receptionist checked it, and her expression changed. She looked surprised, but also confused. "Wait here," she said, picking up the phone. While waiting, Anna felt all the eyes in the lobby staring at her. A few businessmen whispered to each other, probably wondering why someone like her was here. Lily noticed it too. She tugged on her mother's sleeve and whispered, "Mommy, why are they looking at us like that?" Anna bent down, kissed her daughter's forehead, and smiled softly. "Don't worry, my love. Just stay close to me." Moments later, a man in a black suit arrived. He was tall and serious. "Mr. Blackwell will see you now," he said. He gestured toward the golden elevator. Anna's heart almost stopped. She held Lily's hand tighter as they stepped into the elevator. The doors closed, and as it moved upward, Anna felt the weight of her decision. She was walking straight into the office of one of the richest and most powerful men in the city. When the elevator doors opened, the atmosphere changed completely. The top floor was quiet, almost too quiet. Soft music played in the background. Paintings hung on the walls, and expensive furniture filled the hallway. Anna's feet felt heavy, but she kept walking. Finally, the assistant opened a large wooden door. "Please, go inside." Anna stepped in with Lily. The office was huge, with glass walls showing the entire city below. At the center stood a man in a dark suit, his back facing them. He was tall, strong, and his presence filled the room. "Mr. Blackwell, your appointment has arrived," the assistant said, before leaving and closing the door. The man slowly turned around. Anna froze. The CEO, Adrian Blackwell, looked at her with calm eyes at first. But then his gaze moved to the little girl standing beside her. For a moment, time stopped. His expression changed, his face froze, his eyes widened, and his body stiffened as if struck by lightning. He couldn't look away. Lily, with her round cheeks and big brown eyes, stared back at him curiously. She tilted her head, almost as if she had seen him before. Adrian's heart pounded. His lips parted, but no words came out. Something deep inside him shook violently. Anna felt the tension. She didn't understand why the CEO, one of the most powerful men in the city, was looking at her daughter with such shock. The silence was heavy. It was not the silence of strangers. It was the silence of recognition. Finally, Adrian spoke, his voice low and broken. Who is she?" Anna pulled Lily closer, her eyes nervous but protective. "She's my daughter," she said softly. The CEO's hands trembled. He stared at the little girl again, his face pale. And in that moment, one thing was clear, this was not just an ordinary meeting. Something from the past was standing right in front of him. The air in the office felt heavy. Anna stood nervously, not knowing why the CEO's face had frozen. Lily held her mother's hand and looked around the large office with innocent curiosity. Adrian Blackwell, the powerful CEO, tried to hide his reaction. His chest rose and fell quickly, but he forced himself to stay calm. Slowly, he walked back to his chair behind the giant wooden desk. "Please, sit down," he said, though his voice was not steady. Anna nodded politely and sat on the chair across from him, keeping Lily close by her side. She tried to appear confident, but inside, her heart raced. Why was he staring at her daughter like that? For a moment, Adrian simply looked at them. His eyes were sharp, but there was confusion in them, almost like fear. He finally broke the silence. "You said you were here, for the job position." "Yes," Anna replied softly. "I applied last week, and I was surprised when I got a call from your office. I know I don't have the same background as most people you hire, but I promise I will work hard." Adrian looked down at the papers on his desk, the resume, the printed documents. His hands trembled slightly as he touched them. He cleared his throat and pretended to read, but his eyes kept flicking toward Lily. The little girl swung her legs happily, not sensing the storm inside the room. She pointed at a photo frame on the desk. "Mommy, look. That man looks like a prince." Anna smiled awkwardly. "Sure, darling. Don't disturb." But Adrian's heart nearly stopped. The photo Lily pointed at was of him, younger, standing next to his late parents. Something about the way she spoke, the innocence in her voice, hit him hard. He put the frame face down on the table. "So," he said, trying to focus, "tell me about your experience." Anna straightened up. "I have worked in small offices before. Mostly as an assistant, sometimes handling paperwork. It has been difficult, because I raise my daughter alone. But I'm willing to do anything, sir. I just need a chance." Her words were humble, but every sentence carried her struggle. Adrian felt a sting of guilt deep in his chest, though he didn't fully understand why. He asked slowly, "And the father?" Anna froze. Her eyes darkened, and she looked away. Lily was busy drawing on a notepad she found on the desk, completely unaware of the tension. "The father is not in the picture," Anna whispered. "He left us before she was even born. We never heard from him again." Adrian's throat tightened. He gripped his pen so hard it almost broke. His heart screamed with questions, but his lips stayed sealed. The silence stretched again. Adrian wanted to ask something, so badly, but he was afraid. Afraid of the answer. Instead, he forced himself to act professional. "I see. Well, we have strict policies in this company. I'm not sure this position will be easy for you." Anna leaned forward, desperation in her eyes. "Please, sir. I will work harder than anyone. I only need one chance." Her voice cracked, and she quickly held back tears. Lily noticed and patted her mother's arm. "Don't cry, Mommy. I'll be good. I promise." Adrian's heart twisted at the sight. The girl's soft, innocent tone echoed inside his chest like a forgotten memory. He turned his face away, hiding the emotion in his eyes. He could not let her see his weakness. "Tell me," Adrian asked suddenly, his voice sharp, "how old is your daughter?" Anna hesitated, then replied, "She just turned 6 last month." The words struck him like thunder. His hand froze in midair. 6 years. 6 years ago, he remembered that time. The choices he had made. The woman he had lost. His breathing became heavy. Could it be possible? No, it couldn't. But everything inside him whispered otherwise. He stood up suddenly, walking toward the window. His tall figure looked strong, but his shoulders trembled slightly. He stared out at the city, hiding his face from them. Anna looked at him, confused. "Sir, are you all right?" Adrian didn't answer right away. His reflection on the glass showed a man fighting against his own emotions. He forced his voice to remain cold. "I just needed a moment." Behind him, Lily giggled softly. She had drawn something on the notepad, a picture of a man, a woman, and a little girl holding hands. She proudly lifted it. "Look, Mommy. I drew our family." Anna smiled weakly. "That's beautiful, sweetheart." Adrian turned slightly, and when his eyes caught the drawing, his chest burned with pain. The sketch looked so simple, but to him, it was a picture of what he never had, and maybe what he had lost. The room was filled with silent tension. None of them spoke for a long while. But in Adrian's heart, one thought grew louder and louder. The office felt colder than before. Anna sat silently, her daughter resting her chin on the desk while drawing little flowers on the corner of the notepad. Adrian Blackwell, the CEO, stood near the glass wall, staring out at the city skyline. His strong figure looked steady from the outside, but inside, his heart was falling apart. He could not stop thinking about the number. 6 years. The same time when his life had changed. His mind drifted back. It was a rainy night, long ago. He remembered a small town, far away from the bright lights of the city. He was a young man then, not yet powerful, not yet a CEO. Just a simple man with dreams and mistakes. There had been a woman in his life. A woman who had loved him deeply. But because of pride, because of fear, he had walked away. Adrian squeezed his eyes shut, fighting the memory. He had buried it for years, convincing himself it was gone. But now, sitting only a few feet away, was a woman with the same quiet strength. And a child who carried a strange, unexplainable familiarity. He turned around slowly, his face calm but his eyes filled with storm. Anna noticed. She could sense there was something in his look, but she couldn't understand it. She shifted nervously in her chair. "Sir," she said softly, "if you think I'm not suitable for this job, I understand. But please, just give me a chance. I can prove myself." Her voice trembled, yet it carried determination. Adrian walked back toward his desk, sitting down heavily. He tapped his fingers on the wooden surface, trying to look professional. "I need to know more about you," he said firmly. "Where have you worked before? Where did you live?" Anna hesitated. She didn't like sharing personal details, but she wanted this job badly. She answered, "We used to live in Riverdale, a small town outside the city. But after Lily was born, I moved here. I wanted a better future for her." Adrian's chest tightened. Riverdale. The very place he had left behind years ago. His eyes darkened, but he forced himself to ask casually, "Riverdale, that's far from here. Did you stay there long?" Anna nodded. "Almost my whole life. I left only when I had no choice." Her words were simple, but they struck him deeply. Lily interrupted with her sweet voice, holding up her drawing. "Mommy, look. I made another picture. This one is a castle." Anna smiled, kissed her daughter's forehead, and whispered, "It's beautiful, darling." Adrian's eyes softened for a brief moment as he watched them. Then he quickly looked away, hiding his emotion. Inside his head, voices screamed at him. "Ask her. Ask her the truth. Find out if the girl is yours." But his lips refused to move. Instead, he said stiffly, "I'll have my assistant contact you later. For now, that will be all." Anna blinked. She felt confused. "That's all? But, do I have the job?" Adrian avoided her gaze. "Not yet. These things take time." Her shoulders fell. Disappointment filled her face, but she nodded politely. "I understand, sir. Thank you for seeing me." She stood up, taking Lily's hand. The little girl waved cheerfully. "Bye, mister." Adrian forced a smile that didn't reach his eyes. "Goodbye." When they left the office, the silence inside grew heavier. Adrian leaned back in his chair, his hand covering his face. His breathing was rough. He felt as if the ground beneath him was shaking. He whispered to himself, "It can't be. It can't be her." But deep down, something inside him already knew the truth. Moments later, his assistant walked in quietly. "Sir, are you all right?" Adrian looked up sharply. "I need you to do something. Discreetly." The assistant nodded. "Of course." Adrian's voice was low but firm. "Find out everything about Anna. Where she lived, where she worked, who she was with. And find out about the child." The assistant hesitated. The child, sir. Adrian's eyes darkened. Yes. The child. The assistant gave a quick nod and left. Alone again, Adrian stood and walked back to the window. His reflection stared back at him, showing not the powerful CEO, but a man haunted by the past. For the first time in years, he felt powerless. He whispered softly, almost as if confessing to himself, "Did I walk away from something that was mine?" The city below carried on as usual. Cars moved, people rushed, life continued. But inside the office, Adrian Blackwell's world was crumbling, piece by piece. The next morning, Anna woke up early. She dressed Lily in her school uniform and braided her hair with gentle hands. But inside, her heart felt heavy. The meeting with the CEO had not gone as she hoped. He had not said yes, nor had he said no. His eyes had been strange, like he knew something, like he was hiding something. Still, she told herself not to give up. "One more try," she whispered as she prepared breakfast. "I can't let this chance slip away." Later that day, she returned to the office building. This time, she was calmer, though the same nervousness lived inside her. Lily walked beside her, holding her favorite toy rabbit. At the reception, the same sharp-eyed woman looked surprised. "You again? Do you have another appointment?" Anna nodded firmly. "Mr. Blackwell asked me to come back." After a quick phone call, the receptionist gave her a reluctant nod. "Very well. Go up." Once again, Anna and Lily entered the golden elevator. The ride felt long, even though it lasted only seconds. Anna held her daughter's hand tightly, whispering, "Be on your best behavior, love." When they reached the top floor, the assistant led them inside. Adrian was already waiting. His dark suit was perfect, his face unreadable, but his eyes betrayed something. Something heavy, something hidden. "Sit," he said simply. Anna obeyed. Lily climbed onto the chair next to her mother and swung her legs playfully. Adrian opened a file in front of him. "I reviewed your papers. Your qualifications are average. But you seem determined." He looked at her straight, his voice sharp. "Why do you want this job so badly?" Anna swallowed hard. Her hands trembled on her lap. "Because I need to give my daughter a better life. I work day and night, but it is never enough. She deserves more than struggle." Her voice cracked. "I don't care about myself, sir. I only care about her future." Her words were simple, but the honesty in them pierced Adrian's heart. He kept his face cold, but inside, guilt clawed at him. He leaned back, folding his arms. "There are many candidates who are more qualified than you. Why should I choose you over them?" Anna looked into his eyes. For the first time, she didn't hide her pain. "Because none of them will fight harder than me. I don't want charity, Mr. Blackwell. I want a chance to prove myself. Just one chance." The room fell silent. Then, unexpectedly, Lily spoke up. She leaned toward Adrian with her bright, innocent smile. "Mister, my mommy is the best. She can do anything. She takes care of me, she cooks yummy food, and she never gives up." Adrian's heart squeezed. He almost smiled, but quickly hid it. "Children should not speak during meetings," he said quietly, though his voice was softer now. Anna touched Lily's arm. "Sweetheart, sit still." But Adrian's mind was far away. Every word Anna said, every innocent sentence from Lily, tore down the walls he had built around himself. He picked up his pen, pretending to write notes. His hand shook slightly. He asked in a low voice, "How old did you say she was again?" Anna hesitated. She had told him yesterday, but something in his tone felt different this time. "6, she said quietly. "She just turned 6. Adrian's grip on the pen tightened until it almost snapped. 6 years. The same night he had left Riverdale. The same night that haunted him. He leaned forward, his voice heavy. "And the father? Did you ever try to find him?" Anna's eyes filled with sadness. She looked down at her hands. "No. There was no point. He was gone before I even told him." Adrian's chest burned. He wanted to shout, "I never knew. I never left you like that." But he bit his tongue. Not yet. Not until he was certain. Instead, he asked another question, his tone colder. And if I don't give you this job, what will you do? Anna raised her chin. Her eyes were red, but strong. Then I'll keep trying somewhere else. I will not stop. For her, I'll never stop. The determination in her voice shook him. He leaned back slowly, covering his mouth with his hand. He could not let his emotions control him. Not in front of her. Not yet. The silence stretched again. Then Adrian stood, walking toward the window. His tall figure looked strong, but his reflection showed a man breaking inside. Behind him, Lily giggled. She had drawn another picture on the notepad. This time, it was a man holding hands with a little girl. She pushed it across the desk. Here, mister. This is you and me. Adrian froze. Anna reached quickly for the paper, embarrassed. Lily, don't trouble him. But Adrian's eyes locked on the drawing. His heart pounded so hard it hurt. The little girl had no idea what storm she had just created. The sun was setting, casting a golden glow over the city skyline outside Adrian Blackwell's office. But inside, the air felt heavy with secrets. Anna sat nervously, waiting for the CEO to speak. Lily hummed quietly, playing with her toy rabbit, unaware of the storm building around her. Adrian stood by the window, his hands hidden in his pockets, his face turned away. His thoughts raced like 1,000 unanswered questions. 6 years. Riverdale. A woman he had once loved. A night he had walked away. And now, this child, this innocent little girl with eyes that seemed to look straight into his soul. He couldn't ignore it anymore. He needed answers. Turning slowly, Adrian faced Anna. His deep voice broke the silence. I had my assistant look into your background. Anna froze, her breath catching. You investigated me. Adrian's eyes didn't waver. Yes. I needed to know who I was dealing with. He walked back to his desk, his tall figure casting a long shadow across the room. You lived in Riverdale. For most of your life. Anna nodded hesitantly. That's right. His voice grew sharper. And you moved here 6 years ago. Around the same time your daughter was born. Anna's heart skipped a beat. She clenched her hands tightly in her lap. Why does that matter to you? Adrian leaned forward, his gaze piercing through her. Because I know Riverdale. I know it well. Anna's eyes widened. For a brief second, something flickered across her face. Fear, recognition, maybe even pain. But she quickly looked down, hiding it. Lily, sensing the tension, tugged on her mother's sleeve. Mommy, can we go home now? Anna stroked her daughter's hair gently. Soon, sweetheart. Adrian's voice lowered, heavy with unspoken emotion. Tell me, Anna, who was her father? Anna stiffened. Her lips trembled, but she didn't answer. She kept her eyes on the floor, as if the truth was too dangerous to say aloud. Adrian slammed his hand lightly on the desk, not in anger, but in desperation. I need to know. Anna looked up at him then, her eyes filled with unshed tears. Why do you care? She whispered. Why does it matter to you who her father was? He's gone. He left. That's all there is to know. Her words stabbed Adrian's heart like knives. He wanted to scream, I didn't leave you. I never knew. But his pride chained his tongue. Instead, he forced his voice into calmness. It matters, because the past doesn't stay buried forever. Anna shook her head, confused. I came here for a job, not to talk about the past. She stood quickly, holding Lily's hand. If you don't want me here, then say so. Don't drag up old wounds. Adrian rose to his feet too, towering over them. His expression was unreadable, but his eyes burned with emotions he couldn't hide. You deserve the job, he said suddenly. It's yours. Anna blinked, shocked. What? Just like that? Yes. His voice was firm, but his hands trembled slightly at his sides. You said you needed a chance. I'm giving it to you. Anna studied him carefully. Something didn't make sense. Why would a powerful man like Adrian Blackwell, known for being cold and ruthless, suddenly show mercy to her. Her chest tightened. Somewhere in her heart, an old memory whispered, but she pushed it away. Lily smiled brightly, tugging on Anna's hand. "See, Mommy. He believes in you." Adrian's gaze softened at the child's joy. He wanted to reach out, to ruffle her hair, to say something fatherly. But he stopped himself. His hand froze midair before he quickly pulled it back. Anna noticed. Her eyes narrowed slightly, suspicion growing. But she said nothing. The assistant entered quietly, handing Adrian a file. "Sir, the information you asked for." Adrian took it, his eyes scanning the first page. His heart dropped. The timelines matched exactly. The details lined up too perfectly. Every piece of evidence screamed the truth he was afraid to face. Anna noticed his expression change, the color draining from his face. "What is it?" she asked cautiously. Adrian closed the file slowly, pressing it against the desk. His jaw tightened. "Nothing you need to worry about." But inside, his world was collapsing. He looked once more at Lily, who was laughing at her toy rabbit, completely innocent of the storm surrounding her. And in that moment, Adrian knew with near certainty, she was his daughter. His chest ached, his throat tightened, but he stayed silent. Not yet. He couldn't tell her yet. The truth was too close. One step away. And it terrified him. The office was quiet, almost too quiet. The golden evening light spilled across the glass walls, but inside Adrian Blackwell's heart there was only darkness and storm. Anna stood near the desk, holding Lily's hand. She was ready to leave, ready to escape this strange, confusing meeting with the powerful CEO who kept asking questions she didn't understand. But before she could take a step, Adrian's voice broke the silence. "Wait." His tone was low, trembling, not like the strong man he usually was. Anna turned back slowly. Lily stopped too, her toy rabbit hanging from her little hand. Adrian's eyes locked on Anna's, and for the first time, the mask of the ruthless CEO slipped. His voice cracked. "I need to know the truth. I can't carry this anymore." Anna frowned. "What truth are you talking about?" Adrian's chest rose and fell heavily. He looked at Lily, her wide brown eyes, her small nose, her innocent smile. He swallowed hard. "Who is her father?" he asked again, his voice almost breaking. "Tell me his name." Anna froze. Her lips trembled. For years she had kept this secret locked deep inside her heart. She had promised herself never to speak his name again. Her silence was enough. Adrian's hand shook as he gripped the edge of the desk. His voice dropped to a whisper. "It's me, isn't it?" Anna's eyes filled with tears instantly. She turned her face away, but the silence screamed louder than words. Adrian's knees almost gave out. He stumbled back a step, pressing a hand to his chest. "All these years," his voice cracked. "All these years, and I never knew." Anna finally looked at him, her eyes burning with pain. "You left," she whispered. "I was alone. I carried her alone. I raised her alone. You were gone before I could even tell you." Adrian shook his head desperately. "No. Anna, I swear, I didn't know. If I had known, He stopped, his voice choking. "I would never have left her. I would never have left you." Lily blinked, confused. She tugged on her mother's sleeve. "Mommy, why are you crying? Who is he?" Anna knelt down, hugging her daughter tightly. Her tears fell into the little girl's hair. She couldn't answer. She couldn't explain. Adrian dropped to his knees across from them, his powerful image shattered. His voice shook as he whispered, "Lily, I'm your father." The little girl's eyes widened. She looked from her mother's tear-streaked face to Adrian's trembling hands. Her small voice broke the silence. You're my daddy." Adrian's throat closed. He nodded slowly, his eyes shining with tears he never thought he could shed. "Yes, sweetheart. I'm your daddy. I didn't know. I didn't know about you until now." Lily tilted her head, innocent as ever. Then, without warning, she smiled. She reached out her tiny hand and touched his cheek. "It's okay, Daddy. You know now." Adrian's heart shattered completely. He pulled her into his arms, holding her as if he would never let go again. His tears fell freely, mixing with the little girl's giggles as she hugged him back. Anna stood watching, her emotions torn between anger, sadness, and something she had tried to bury long ago, love. Adrian looked up at her, still holding Lily. His voice was raw. I don't deserve forgiveness. I don't deserve either of you. But please, please give me a chance. Let me make it right. Let me be here now. Anna's tears flowed silently. She wanted to scream at him for the years of pain, for the nights of loneliness, for the struggle she had carried alone. But when she looked at Lily's face, so happy, so full of light, her heart softened. She whispered, I don't know if I can forgive you, Adrian. But for her sake, maybe I can try. Adrian closed his eyes, relief and grief washing over him at once. He kissed Lily's forehead gently and held her tighter, silently promising never to walk away again. The city outside kept moving, cars and people rushing as always. But inside that office, time stood still, a mother, a daughter, and a man finally facing the truth he had run from for too long. And though the road ahead was uncertain, one thing was clear, the secret was no longer hidden. The past had finally caught up, and the future would never be the same again.